And welcome, students, as we get into our next topic, which for Python, which is that of functions. So we are actually going to examine some functions here. We're going to do some very basic ones for the purpose of these exercises, and we're going to kind of work our way from there. Now, we already have a kind of basic function that we've been using, and that is the main function here. This right here simply is just a function defined as main, that when Python gets to it, it just goes through the code, and when it gets to main, it executes what's here inside this definition. So what we're going to do for this purpose is we're going to do some basic programs that are going to calculate which thing is going to be used. So let's just do something like area of a circle and area of a square, or area of a rectangle. Very simple, easy to calculate, and we can make very simple functions for these for our purposes of demonstration. Now, since we know that, for example, in a circle, pi is a constant, we're going to put that up here before our main, and we're going to say pi is equal to 3.14. Just because we don't necessarily want to restrict that to just the main program, right here, we want this to be accessible by everything within the actual application. So inside of our main, let's go ahead and start by just asking the user whether they want to enter a circle, square, or rectangle to find the area. So print, and we're going to say you will be calculating the area for a square, circle, or rectangle. And now we, of course, can get that choice. Choice equals input, which shape would you like to calculate? And now this, of course, where we can have, we can, for example, make shortcut prompts. So, for example, we could have them say, press S for square, C for circle, etc. So let's just do something like that. So type S for square, C for circle, and R for rectangle. Okay. So now we have that choice set up. So let's go ahead then, and I'm also going to make this so it's on a new line here. So I'm just going to put in a new line character. So let's go ahead, and from there, we think, okay, well, we got three shapes we want to choose from. What would be a good thing that we can kind of choose to make something that could handle three different things? Oh, wait, I know, an if-else, because we're looking to do multiple shapes. So if choice equals, and we're just going to put in quotes, S. The thing you have to watch out for is that what if someone puts a lowercase s? Well, we can use or choice equals a lowercase s. This is just one way to help make sure that they're doing it. Yes, there's ways you can do this with ignore case as well, but for the scope of what our class has done, we haven't talked about ignore case. So for now, this is perfectly acceptable. Okay, so there's my if. And right now, I'm just going to leave this as here. So let's just put a hash here and say do something. And all this is just a comment that's going to tell me, hey, I need to come back and do something. Hit enter, backspace, and let's do our else if. Choice equals, we had C for circle, or choice equals C. Again, we're going to just leave this as do something right now. And then we actually don't want to do an else, because if we do an else right now, if I type any other letter other than just R, it's always going to go to rectangle. So with this one, this is an example of when we are not going to have an else, at least not for one of our choices. So choice equals R, or choice equals a lowercase r, hash, do something. Now we can, of course, put an else here, and the else could just be something like print That doesn't seem like a valid response. Now, one thing, of course, we can do is like if we want this to continuously calculate area and stuff like that, we can put this inside of it. But for now, we're not going to worry about that. We're going to say the program's just going to run once and then it's going to shut down. All right. So in this case, we have our 3 choices set up. Now, you notice we do have these do somethings in here. This means I need to come back and actually develop the code for that. So let's go ahead and make out code that would be for this. So after I go over here, I'm going to enter and hit backspace over. And let's go ahead and create 3 different functions. And of course, we start it off with def, just like we do with the main. And I'm going to have one that's for, let's see, we have area of circles. So area of squares first. And then we're going to just do parentheses there, colon. And let's just for now leave that the way it is. Def area of circle. And definition area of rectangle. All right. Now I've set up my program. So now what I can do is instead of this being do something, I can come right here to area of square, copy that, remove this, put area of square in here, and I can put area circle, put that here, and area of rectangle. All right, so now I have my functions pretty much kind of set up. Now, let's actually have those functions do something. So inside the area of the square, all I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, hit enter. And if you remember, the area of a square is just the 2 sides of a square squared. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, since we need an input here, we can say area is equal to the int of, well, actually, we probably don't want to do it. We could do a float in case they put in a decimal. Float of input. And then we can say, please enter the side length. All right. Now, I'm going to close this off. So this is going to, of course, give me the side length. And then what I want to do that is multiply that number technically by itself. So instead of this being area, let's make that side. And we can come right down here and say area equals side times side. Now, the one thing, of course, that we have a problem with is that right now, area, even though it's calculated in here, this function has no way of getting that information back to the main program. So what we actually want to do then is have it exist inside of everywhere. So I'm just going to come up here and say area. All right. And let's just set that by default equals 0, because we can do that because if there's no shape, we can have it be 0 and not worry about it. Now, so we're going to calculate area square and then just say avit print the area is area units squared. All right. Now the nice thing is, because technically this is going to be the same response for all 3, I can do a little copy paste action here. All right. Now let's do the same thing here. I'm just going to kind of cheat a little bit. I'm going to copy this, go to area circle, paste, and area rectangle, and paste. Now we have to, of course, modify this a little bit, because a circle, well, we don't have a side length. Instead, we have a radius. So please enter the radius length would be what we're actually looking at here. And now the area, if you remember, is pi r squared. So what we're going to do is pi times radius times radius. All right, and then with the rectangle, now the rectangle, we can't simply just get one input. We actually have to get 2 inputs because we need the length and the width. So here, let's change this to the length. So please enter the length. And then I'm going to just copy that. hit enter, paste, change this from length to width, and change this right here to width. All right, and then of course, instead of side times side, this would be length times width. Okay, so now we should have our program all set. So let's go ahead and run it just to see if we've made any errors. Aha, it says invalid syntax. And it's because, what did we forget right here? We forgot a concatenation symbol. So let's go ahead and add that in real quick. Rerun it. All right, you will be calculating the area for a square, circle, or rectangle. Which shape would you like to calculate? Let's just go ahead and test it out with the square. So we're entering the side length. Let's enter in 5. And you can see that we have an error here. If you remember, that's because when we did this right here, right, it says can only concatenate string, not int to string. So if we go back up here where the print is, area is still in a numeric form, so we have to add str. So we'll just do that real quick. Add str to all 3 of these. And that should solve, I think, all the potential errors. Always good to check your code because you never know what kind of mistakes you might make. So square, we're entering 5. All right, and we got the area is 5 units squared. Uh-oh. So let's go and take a look at that. So here we had side is float input into the side length. Area is equal to side times side. Now, part of the reason is that it could be that it doesn't quite know what to do with these. So here area is 0 units squared. So let's just pause a moment. We're actually going to stop the video right here because this is a good stopping point. We've created the functions and we're right now at the point where we're going to start using the functions, which is our topic for the next lesson. So I'm actually going to stop us right here. And when we come back, we're actually going to solve this problem to fully get everything implemented. So I will see you next time.